Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, and that means it is time for weigh-in and the weekly weight loss topic. I was not sure how weigh-in was going to go. Adam's home. I've been taking a few liberties. We had poker. We went to the shore. Let's see how it went. I am happy to say, and I know you're going to question happy to say, I am up 0.4. I don't think that's bad. After quite a few days of taking a few liberties and being gone and things like that, I think it's great. And I know that'll come off next week. Not even worried about it. So that is my weigh-in, up 0.4. Next week, it'll be gone. That's all I have to say about that. Let's get on to the topic. This week's topic is super important in my world. Portions. Portions 101. How to find what works for you. We'll let you in on a secret. When it comes to filling your plate, there's no right amount of oatmeal, ice cream, or any other food. But there is a portion that's right for you. Let's find it. Let me see what they have to say, and then we'll fill in the gaps. Number 1, serve yourself. Scoop your usual amount of ice cream or other go-to food into a bowl. Okay, well, that would be a disaster for me because my old usual portion of ice cream is probably about 2 or 3 cups. Size it up. Measure how much you typically eat using a measuring cup or scale. Then check the points value or your calories. Use the WW app to see how the portion impacts your budget. Then reflect and revise. Does that amount work with your budget? Cool. Keep it as is. If not, adjust until you find your sweet spot. Yes. Just because something says let's use butter, for example, okay? We're going to use butter. A serving size of butter is 1 tablespoon. Let's say I'm sitting down to have breakfast, and for breakfast I am having eggs, bacon, and an English muffin. Do I need a tablespoon of butter on an English muffin? I do not. Would it be delicious? Yeah, it's butter. But in truth, you don't need that much. So I'm kind of taking the reverse approach here. This is why you need to check portion sizes. Sometimes you need a little more. Sometimes you need a little less. I can get by, and I love butter. I am a butter fan. I think it is a good fat. Yes, there's saturated fat in it, but it is a natural fat. It is not man-made. It is from the land. But I don't need a tablespoon of it on my English muffin or my piece of toast. I get by with, depending on the day, a 1/4 teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon. And I think I get by with so little because I use real butter. Back in my early days of WW, when I was using the fake stuff, I can't believe it's not butter light or whatever it's called. I used to use a ton. And I think because it has no taste. I think because it has just tastes like plastic. And I tried to use more to get taste. Then when I learned what I know now, I can use the smallest amount of butter because it has that taste. And for me, that is definitely the best thing to do. Maybe it's not the best thing for you, and that's okay. You have to find what works for you. Now, this can go the opposite way too. If you put a container of Turkey Hill Naturals mint chocolate chip in front of me, which by the way, I will say I have probably not had in about 6 years, 5 years. I don't think I've had it since I started my health journey back in February of 2018. I have not had it. I have not bought it because I know it is kryptonite. Yes, that is the only kind of packaged ice cream I will buy is Turkey Hill Naturals mint chocolate chip, and I have not had it. In my world, a serving is half the container, and a container is 1.5 quarts or 1.75 quarts, whatever it is. Yeah, but in my world, it's half of it. It's one of the reasons I don't bring it into the house. Now, it's easy to say, oh, eat it if you can fit it in. But honestly, do we need that much ice cream? We don't. Because let me tell you, the first bite, the second bite, the third bite, they're your best tasting bites. The rest of it, more than likely, you are just eating on autopilot, especially if it's a food that you eat all the time. Now, some foods are not like that. I will say, when I made Andrew's birthday cake, that tres leches cake, that is not something that I had ever made before. I have had it once or twice in my life. Every single bite of that little piece of cake was as good as the first because it was something special. For me, if I'm eating ice cream every night, or if I'm eating cookies every night, or if I'm eating whatever every night, it's not special anymore. And you're eating it on autopilot just to eat it. If it's something you're eating all the time, cut back. You don't need 4 cookies. You don't need 4, ice cream sandwiches. You don't need 4 bags of chips, whatever it is. One. Keep it special. Keep it special. So watch that portion size. Even though they say if you can fit it in, it's okay, I truly don't believe that. I could wake up in the morning and I could have a cinnamon roll for breakfast. And then for lunch, I could have a bowl of ice cream. Then for dinner, we could have a piece of pumpkin pie with whipped cream. And I could stay well within my calories for the day, possibly even my points if I use some weeklies. But is that the best thing to do? No. Just because it fits into your points or into your calories doesn't mean that is good to eat. We still have to eat balanced. We still have to eat nutritious. We have to fuel our bodies. And I'm here to tell you, a cinnamon roll is not fueling your body. And I don't care if it's one of those protein cinnamon rolls. No, it's still junk food. It is still junk food. Get your protein from eggs or steak and eggs or something like that in the morning. Not from some prepackaged, processed food that they're trying to push off as healthy and breakfast. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. I'm not saying never have a treat, because let me tell you, if I'm on vacation and we're somewhere where they're known for their cinnamon rolls or known for their beignets or something, heck yeah, I'm going to do that. But I'm not doing it every day of life at home. Special occasions, special food. Regular days, regular healthy food. That was a little tangent, but what else is new? You're used to that from me. But back to the portion sizes. Just because you can fit it in doesn't mean you should fit it in. No. Because eating 3 cups of ice cream, even if you can fit it in, is probably not good for you. That's why I am not a fan of all these Halo Top and Enlighten and Nix and all those. Number one, they're nothing but chemicals. Read the ingredients. Nothing but chemicals. I don't even think they have cream in them, in ice cream. But not only that, you can have the whole container for 6 points. No one needs a whole container. And that is part of the diet mentality that we have here in the United States. It has to be huge quantities of food. Look at the portions that we have. Somebody commented, I guess it was 2 weekends ago, Doug and I went to the diner for dinner, and I showed my dinner, and I said that it was a small plate meal or a mini meal or whatever they call it. And somebody was like, that's a mini meal? I'm like, yeah, that should be the regular meal. The regular meal of what I had literally comes on a serving platter. I only ate half of my mini meal. Yep. It's because we are so programmed to want such quantities of food. That is why, I don't know, what's the number? The number's staggering, the amount of obesity in the United States. And it all comes back to portions. So just because it's going to fit in doesn't mean you should do it. I totally agree. Put a portion in a bowl that you would have. Weigh it out, measure it out. Then look at the container that you took it from. Or look at your WW app, pull it up and see what they say the portion is. That's where 0 point foods can get you, because 0 point foods are not 0 calories. And if you're thinking, Greek yogurt, 0 points, I'm going to have 32 ounces of it. Throughout the day, I'm going to mix it with sugar-free pudding, and I'm going to mix it with this, and I'm going to mix it with that. And at the end of the day, you eat 32 ounces of non-fat Greek yogurt. Look how many calories. It's probably your calories for the day. So you have to watch your portions. Just because it's 0 points or 0 bites does not mean it's 0 calories. And just because you can fit it in doesn't mean you should. And that is where some self-control has to come in. Because I'm going to tell you, if you cut out the processed food, cut out the junk food, cut out the snacking, and eat whole, real foods with protein and with healthy fat and all that, you are going to be able to cut out the snacking because you're not going to be hungry. Now, if you snack just because you snack, just because you want food in your face, that's a totally different thing. If you snack because you are hungry, try mixing up what you're eating. Ditch the sugar-free, ditch the fat-free. Try some whole foods. They're going to keep you fuller longer, and you will not have to snack. Trust me on this one. I'm living proof of it. But if you are going to snack, especially with snacks, check the serving sizes. Look and see what you would normally eat, then look and see what's recommended. It may shock you. And definitely on those 0 point foods. I know Weight Watchers is based on science, and we don't have to, weigh and measure and track those 0 point foods. But if you are really heavily relying on those, it might not be a bad idea to just double track once in a while and just make sure that you are not eating too many of them. Or, maybe you had I had an 8 point day today, but then you look and go, oh my gosh, I had 3,000 calories because I just kept eating those 0 point foods. It might be. Portion control, I think, is one of the biggest factors to being on any kind of weight loss journey. And I believe that it's tied to so many things. I believe that portions are tied to the way we eat. If we are sitting at the table and we put food on our plates and we're playing on our phones or we're watching TV or we're doing something else, we're eating robotically. And next thing you know, the plate's empty and we're scooping out more because we're eating robotically. We are not tasting that food. We are not smelling that food. We are not experiencing that food because our attention is somewhere else. And we're doing it robotically. If we put away the electronics and put away the phones and truly be in the moment of that food, trust me, you're going to eat less. I'm guilty of it. I am. And, I try to be super careful. I do bring my phone to the table because when I'm filming a full day of eating or whatever, I film it. But then I turn it over and push it at the end of the table, or I turn it over and put it, on the half wall behind me or something. Because if that was sitting there and if I was, watching a video or playing a game or something, I'm going to just keep eating because my brain is so focused on that video or that game or whatever it is, it's not getting the signal from my mouth telling me that stop. You're full, you're satiated, and you're satisfied. It won't get that because it's so busy with other things. Hence, our portions are going to get bigger because we don't think we're full and satisfied. When we eat fast, same thing. The slower you eat, you're going to get full. And you're going to realize, I don't even need any more. Try it. You're going to find you're leaving food on your plate. It's a mind game. It really, truly is. And you got to get your mind in that game because this right here is your most powerful weapon in this fight to lose weight. Exercise this first. That willpower, that mindset, that is what you need first. And part of that is our portion control. But now that I've gone totally off track, I apologize. Let's get back to what this says. Let's dive a little deeper. Ever been at a party and noticed the portions you served yourself look nothing like the ones others dished on their plates? That's okay. What keeps you satisfied and within your points budget can be very different from what works for someone else. There's no correct amount of insert food here. I disagree with that when it comes to junk foods. There is. You cannot eat an entire thing of ice cream, whether you can fit it in or not. It is not a healthy thing to do. It's not. So, and I just feel like we know this. And I just feel like this is giving permission. The key is determining right for you portions, the balance between how much food you want to eat and the points you want to spend out of your total points budget or calories. So many factors can influence how much you may eat. So lacking in personal portion sizes, especially when it comes to food you eat often, can help you feel, So locking in personal portion sizes, especially when it comes to food that you eat often, can help you feel more confident in your choices and stay on track. You may want to measure or weigh your portions at first. Keep your tools on the counter so they're handy. But before long, you'll likely get comfortable eyeballing things and find it even easier to serve up your favorites in amounts that also serve your long-term goals. That's fine, but I'm going to tell you, if you do not weigh and measure, you need to once in a while, maybe once a month, I don't know, you have to figure out what's right for you. You need to check yourself because we are generous people, my friends. We are generous people. And that half a cup of rice, it's going to turn into 2/3. That 2/3 is going to turn into 3/4. Trust me, I know from experience. I've been at this a long time, friends. You need to check yourself. If you are not weighing and measuring every day, I get it. But you need to stop and check yourself. Because I guarantee you're either underserving yourself or overserving yourself. We certainly don't want to underserve ourselves. If you are charging calories or points or whatever it is that you count, if you're charging yourself for those, you want all that you're charging yourself for. And on the other hand, if you are charging yourself, 3 points for half a cup of rice or whatever it is, or 100 calories for a tablespoon of butter, and you're having 2 tablespoons of butter, or you're having a whole cup of rice, things aren't going to be right. And maybe that's why the scale is not moving for you. Maybe that's why you think you're in a plateau when you're truly not in a plateau. You're just eating too much. I know it sucks. It sucks. I'm here to tell you that. But you've got to watch your portions. You can eyeball to a point, but you need to check yourself. Yes. And you need to not like put something in a bowl and go, well, I'll give this 3 points, or I'll give this 2 points. Or I'll give this 100 calories. I'll give this 200 calories. No, it's a science. There's points and calories locked in on things. You can't give it what you want to give it. You need to figure out what it is. You need to put it in your tracker. You need to figure it out. You need to Google it. You need to do something, because this could be the reason why we are not having success, because we are not being honest. We're not being honest with our portions. We're not being honest with our tracking. This could be the reason. Or it could just be that you're eating too much and you need to pull back. There's so many things, and we're so quick to blame so many other things for our failures that sometimes we have to look into ourselves and realize that, you know what? I didn't weigh and measure all week. I didn't track all week. I was, too generous with myself. There's so many things. But if you pick a plan, whether it's calorie counting, whether it's points counting, whether it's macro counting, if you are honest and you stick to it, it will work for you. Maybe not the first time, and maybe what works for me isn't going to work for you, and what works for Sally down the street isn't going to work for you, but you will find what works for you. But the key is doing it honestly. Doing it honestly. Okay. 3 fast facts, and then we're done. A serving size is the amount of food listed on the product's nutrition label. A portion size is how much food you choose to eat at one time. Oh, I like that. A right for you portion is the balance of food you want to eat and the points in your budget you want to use. We need to reel in our right for us portions, like I said, because a right for me portion is an entire container of ice cream. That is not a right for anyone portion. What we want and what we need are 2 totally different things. Remember that. Remember that. Watch your portions. Be in the moment with your food. Eat and experience it. And I guarantee you're going to eat less. I honestly, I really, truly believe that. Well, I was off topic for half of this, and I know some of you get upset when I don't agree with WW, but I go with my experience. WW and keto and calorie counting and I don't know, whatever else is out there these days. They're all great and they all work, but you have to find the one that's right for you. And you have to, and sometimes I just think, I'm not a coddler, so I'm not going to coddle you and say, you eat the right for you portion. No. Because we'd all be eating an entire box of Little Debbie's or an entire box of Tasty Cakes or a whole bag of Doritos, because a lot of us, and I'm putting myself in this, I am not above this. A lot of us think that's the right portion for us, when in truth, it is not the right portion for anyone. So just be aware. Just be aware. Okay? Just be aware. And really think about what's going in your mouth this week. Weigh and measure this week. See if you're surprised. If you normally would take 2 cups of ice cream, take a half a cup. Eat it slowly, eat it mindfully, and see what that does for you. See if you can handle that. Okay? I know. If you made it this far, thank you. I'm really not cranky today. I just, you know how I feel. You know how I feel. And I just want everybody to be so successful. And I want you all to do so well. Okay? Okay. And I'm giving myself a little pep talk too. Because after this week of a little bit of too much indulgence, I need to bring it back down. Yep. This is for me as much as it is for you, my friends. So that's it. I'm done. This is way too long. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave a couple videos right here. See you all in my next video.